Holy crap.
We're live.
Holy shit, it worked. Holy shit, it worked.
We're live.
Okay, let's see here. Frank, you feeling better there, Scooter? If you'd like to, I don't know, it's Texas in the spring. Send money.
Keep the heat on.
Well, is it heat today?
Yeah, it's supposed to snow on Saturday.
Saturday, high of 80 with chance of snow. If you like coffee, King Harv's Imperial Coffees at www.kingharv.com has coffee for all your needs. Nice guys. Let them know you heard about it from us.
Thank you, Sarah.
Got the care package. Oh, nice. Spare liver. If you like smart-ass t-shirts, what is that?
What is what?
Look at the. Oh, it's bright outside. Never mind. tinyurl.com among the least tees for all your smart-ass t-shirt needs. Friend of ours. Let them know you heard about it from us. I'm going to go put up the curtain.
Okay.
Well, no, because we need to mail stuff. Disregard.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Yeah, Sunday, freezing ice storm with a chance of sunstroke. Yeah. Well, the day was off to a fairly good start until...
No, it wasn't.
Well, for me anyway. 3 hours to make up. Yeah. Apparently they have an active shooter or had an active shooter situation at NAS Pensacola this morning. No further updates at this time.
And my day started off with a visit to Dr. Sausage Finger. I have a minor rant. If you are accepted to urology school, the very first day you're at urology school, there should be a questionnaire going around which asks one very important question. Said question being, what is the ring gauge of your index finger? And if it's over a certain size, you are a no-go at this station. Go try cardiology.
Hey, be glad. Because if you've got a guy with a big finger, it's bad. If you have a woman with little tiny fingers, you get the whole fist.
He was checking my tonsils the long way. I should be crying in the shower right now.
Well,
I feel cheap and used.
Always make sure he takes the ring off first.
Yeah. Hey, Doc, where should I put my pants? Over there by mine. What the hell?
We actually did that to one asshole.
Oh, I'm sure you did. Good news is, urology department, can you hold? No, that's part of the problem. It's something about, no long nails. Fortunately, I don't have cancer yet. So yay, I'm good for it. In 6 months, I got to do it again. I hope there's chocolates waiting this time. Maybe some soft music.
Flower.
Yeah, woo me up a little bit before.
Yeah. That's when Sanford went back to her the following year.
Show me a doll where he hurt you, and someone will use it in a smut book. Oh, it's on the doll.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Did the doctor have kind eyes? No.
Oh, you like the dominant ones, huh?
Not particularly, no.
Would you prefer Kenny G or Barry White?
For this guy, Barry White.
Chocolate and proctology should not be used in the same sentence. True statement.
Oh,
Are you practicing for the I Love Me jacket?
No. Or both hands. There was a suspicion.
Yeah, Houston has got to come up with another Democrat.
What?
The one that replaced Sheila Jackson Lee just offed himself at the State of the Union.
Yeah, right after the State of the Union had a massive medical emergency in the tunnel leaving.
Oh. Survival?
Nope.
Well, damn.
Yeah, Moon River.
Moon River. That was from Chevy Chase's Fletch. Fletch?
Yeah.
Fletcher.
No, I think it was Fletch.
Fletch,
Whatever. Yeah, Houston's going through reps like the USSR did and leaders in the 80s. Yep.
Speaking of, if you're a Russian oligarch or anybody that said anything mean about Pooty Poot, and there's a joke there I will not tell here because Frank will have a coronary. Um, if you say anything bad about Pooty Poot and you live in Moscow, don't live above the second floor.
Yeah.
Or
Sudden,
visit.
sudden Russian death syndrome apparently has got another one. There's this what we happily call sudden Russian death syndrome. It's where for no reason whatsoever is reining him in. Yeah, for no reason whatsoever, Russian oligarchs with massive amounts of money and mouths tend to fall from 16th story windows.
Yeah.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
And they are. He dives so he's stepping on his fingers. Exactly. And this time the fun part is a Chechnyan wrestler. Chechnyan. And I realize y'all don't understand the significance of that, but a wrestler from Chechnya who might have run his gump about Putin, fell out the third floor and died.
Yeah.
And his brother said, or somebody said, he was probably doing housework.
Uh-huh. Yeah, AJ. Here in the U.S., that's referred to as archicide.
Archicide, yeah. So a Chechnyan male of a certain age was washing the windows and had an oopsie.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
I'm here to tell you, you can ask Tom, Chechnyan males over a certain age are not going to do housework, period.
Yeah.
Well,
Russians aren't.
You know, the thing about it is, if you live in Russia at this point and you have a relative that has the financial purse strings of the family, they'll never blame you. They'll assume he said something bad.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a Russian philosophy called Vranyo. Tom will probably tell me that my pronunciation sucks. Vranyo is lying.
Yeah.
And it's lying that you know you're lying. Everybody else knows you're lying, but we're pretending to accept or we're actually accepting what you said.
So it's Clinton.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little different than the American version because they're lying. We know they're lying, and we call them on it.
Yeah.
In Russia, they lie. Everybody out there knows they're lying and pretends to believe them anyway.
They don't call them on it.
They don't call them on it.
The Democrats all believed Clinton that he did not have sex with that woman.
No, they didn't.
They all said they did.
Yeah. But that's not the same as mainstream media. Yes. So Vranyo, you've got Putin saying, "I'm not doing it." Everybody knows he's doing it.
Yeah.
Pooty Poot is.
He is and always has been KGB.
Oh yeah, and not a good one either. Not a good one.
He made rank on the back of his grandfather. Well,
His grandfather was the personal chef to both Lenin and Stalin.
Yeah,
and that's personal chef. So that's as close to a holy bloodline as you get in Russia, because oh my God, he fed Stalin and Lenin. So you got grandson here, and that's the only thing that kept him out of a furnace when he got caught with the wrong dick in his ass in East Berlin. Don't get me started.
Now, John,
why not?
John just texted me the storm that went through the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Got his house roof and his garage roof.
Holy crap!
That's gonna be expensive fix.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, try survive to being gay in Russia.
20 rubles is 20 rubles. You notice that our Russia expert here is not contradicting me.
Yeah. Working with the various entities against the Soviets was interesting.
And for those of y'all worrying, one, I'm not drinking any tea handed to me by a Russian, and two, I will not be falling out of any 16th story buildings in Wichita Falls.
Yeah.
You might want to avoid people with umbrellas.
Yeah. Oh, yes. No, that's Bulgarians.
Yeah, It brings to mind a story from back in the day.
Uh-oh.
We were on deployment in Sigonella, and a certain British air crew was coming in. And
Tom says Ian does not have any information that lead to the conviction of Hillary Clinton.
hell, he may not, but I do.
I'm just going to check where they yanked a shit ton of blood out of me. Go.
Somebody visited the
Well,
vampire.
I was
today.
just going to make sure I wasn't going to get squirting
Sprayed.
blood. Yeah.
Sprayed.
No, that's me. That's me that has thin enough blood to
Yeah.
spray.
Anyway, we were in Sigonella, and we get word that this British air crew's coming in, and I get a phone call that I need to go down to the ramp,
What have your bug snipes done this time?
and that was my next question. I got down there and then walked in. The Master Chief said, "The British crew wants you to meet them at the end of the runway." Okay. So I grabbed, committed suicide, shot himself 50 times in the back. So I grabbed the
Damnedest case of suicide I ever saw.
truck, ran out there, and watched them roll out. They turned off the runway onto the taxiway, actually to the Hammerhead. And I see the co-pilot's side window come open, and a package comes flying out. It hits the ground. Side window closes, airplane taxis on around. That back to the line. So I go over and pick up the package because I'm not sure what the hell it is, but obviously,
Was it ticking?
yeah, it was not ticking, thank God. So I drive back over to maintenance, drop the truck off, throw the package in my little deployment car, and I look over, and the air crew is still on the airplane. They haven't come off the airplane. And this official car comes driving up with a civilian who goes stomping up on the airplane and stays on the airplane about 20 minutes.
Looking in all the crevices.
Yeah. Comes back down, stomps back to his car, and the car goes away.
Do you look like a tax inspector?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And the air crew comes off laughing.
Because they ain't dumb.
So, so we end up in the bar later that night.
Did you return the package?
I got told to hang on to it.
Oh, okay.
So we end up in the bar that night, and I asked the group commander, who normally you don't see group commanders flying with an air crew. In this case, he was. I said, "What's in the package?" And he laughed, and he said, "Soviet ensign." I went, "What?" It's a Soviet ensign.
Ensign not being a junior officer stuffed in the sack. So the ensign is the flag at the ass end of
A flag off the ass end of a Russian ship, Russian combatant.
It would be a lot more fun if it was actually a Soviet ensign.
Yeah. And I looked at him and I went, "How in the fuck?" And he goes, "Well, a couple of the mates were on Liberty down in London."
Just stop right there.
They somehow either talked their way or snuck onto a Russian combatant that was tied up in London as part of a goodwill gesture, and took
Goodwill that flag right off the
goodwill that flag right off the ship. Yeah.
I'm assuming the mates were E4s.
No, they weren't. They were much more senior than that. And
young officers.
Yeah.
Trust me, young officers are every bit as bad as young
Oh, yeah.
enlisted.
They apparently didn't get caught per se, but they were
The Russians pitched a fit.
They pitched a fit, yeah. And it somehow came out that some of the air crew had been on Liberty in London that night. Well, the air crew was out of St. Maughan, so they bagged ass with the ensign. And they had gone to lodges to drop off some gear for a broken airplane. From lodges, they came to Sigonella. And apparently, sometime in between lodges and Sigonella, they got the word they were going to be met by a British official to search the airplane.
Get that friggin' flag back.
Yeah. So, yeah. So when they got ready to leave, I said, well, can we at least look at it? So we had a picture taken of it hanging over the.
You had evidence taken?
Yeah. Hey, it's a sailor bar in Italy. Of course, we had evidence taken. Had it stretched out over the top of the bar. Had a picture taken, repackaged it. And I asked the group commander, I said, what are you going to do with it? He said, yeah, I don't know.
Put it in the bathroom.
We'll figure out something. So when they left, they took the flag with them. I still to this day, they do not know what happened to that flag.
Check the bathroom in the squadron headquarters.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of an Italian sailor bar. I'm surprised it wasn't stretched out over the barmaid,
Yeah, and,
or the barmaid stretched it out over it.
no, we ran an illegal bar.
Really?
Yeah.
My shocked face.
It's
Let me
called
show
a fly
you.
trap.
And-
We always had illegal bars.
Yes, that was a thing, at least in the 80s. I don't know where the modern hard line on booze came from.
It certainly wasn't there in the 70s.
No,
No.
shit. In the 80s, there was one of the first things we did was set up the bar.
Hell, we had the brass nut up in Keflavik. It transferred squadron to squadron. We had the fly trap in Sigonella that transferred squadron to squadron. We had a bar out in town in lodges.
As I remember correctly, when I was in the infantry, one of the requirements for promotion to E6 was being an alcoholic.
The mailman arriveth.
Hell, if you weren't an alcoholic when you joined the 80s, you quickly became one.
Yeah.
People think.
Post office?
Yes.
Well,
Them too.
our mailman's here, guys. No, it's quite honestly, when I was in the 82nd Airborne, the AA patch was referred to as Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah.
And the joke I make about I've never ever jumped out of a perfectly good plane, because every one of those planes was A, built by lowest bidder, and B, maintained by 18-year-old functional alcoholics.
And C, military property.
Yeah.
Well, and Doug's right. In the 70s, we had beer in the barracks and beer machines. And I can remember at one point, beer was actually cheaper than a Coke was
That
Yes.
doesn't surprise me.
because they raised the price of Cokes to 35 cents
Well,
and beer was still a quarter.
at the enlisted club on base that shall not be named, if I remember right, a beer was 25 cents and a Coke was 50.
And hard liquor on Midway was 15 cents a shot.
What I seem to remember, I don't know about the rest of you, but when I was buying cigarettes in the Army, it was 17 cents a pack.
Yeah.
Well, $1.77 a carton.
I can remember it being $1 a carton.
And if you went to the EM club and you put down $1 for a cocktail, you got change.
Yeah.
Well, most of us never took the change. We left it as tips.
Yeah.
Surbrad says, bring back functional officers, NCO, and enlisted clubs. Do they not have them anymore?
They're joint clubs now,
The hell is a joint club?
non-functional.
A joint club, that's like the proctologist you saw earlier.
It's officers and enlisted sharing these.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Now, there needs to be a place where enlisted can let their hair down without NCOs and officers being there. There needs to be a place where NCOs can let their hair down without enlisted and officers being there. There needs to be a place where officers can sip their whatever the hell it either canapes without the out of the
Without
sight
the
of the
hooligans being over there.
hooligans being around.
Although some of the worst hooligans I knew were officers.
Oh yeah,
Well, look at Jim.
yeah. I might have participated in a few things over the years.
Mike said nobody's going to the clubs. What the hell happened? In the 80s, that was where you went.
Because they made them joint clubs.
Yeah.
They cut out all the senior enlisted clubs. The Navy had chiefs clubs. Those all went away. They did away with the officers' clubs.
When I made E5, what part of making NCO was there was a thing we did at the club.
Yeah.
And the number of times I would walk in the NCO club, grab a beer, and start just functional Tourette's about E4.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And everybody going,
Now, on one base I was on, they had an EM club.
Yeah.
They had an officers club. They did not have an NCO club.
Yeah.
The NCOs were allowed to go to the officers club.
No.
Well, simple fact of the matter is, they certainly didn't want them going to the EM club.
Yeah.
There were things said at the NCO club. Everybody knew it was safe.
Oh yeah.
It was safe.
You wouldn't get court-martialed for it.
You wouldn't get court-martialed, and it wouldn't get back to the officer or the enlisted to cause problems later on.
Yeah.
Then there were times that I've gone off on a 15-minute rant where I started inventing new profanity about my little bug snipes.
Okay.
Knowing that I could vent and it wouldn't get back was.
Yep.
And there were a lot of deals cut in NCO clubs.
Oh yeah.
Well, there were a lot of deals cut in EM clubs too sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and that was a thing, that the KEF being another example. The E6s had an E6 mess, and that was sacrosanct. Only E6s, and they did let the Air Force in occasionally. We had just taken over the brass nut, and 57th Fizz had a new crop of pilots come in. And they all came up and got absolutely shit-face hammered.
Mm-hmm.
To the point we poured them out of the club. And the Air Force admiral or general put the brass nut off limits to the 57th Fizz.
Oh, God.
Which was kind of funny. Yeah. E-clubs traded M2 barrels, NCO clubs traded supply specialist. Yeah.
No longer. Mike says now everything is used against you in the name of good order, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, the Navy, and Doug's right, Navy still does have on ships the goat locker for E7 and up.
I don't understand. Maybe I'm old school. I know for a fact
all this came about when they shifted to the zero tolerance policies.
Which are stupid.
Yeah. That's where all this shit started. Because we used to have strippers come into both the enlisted and officer clubs.
Do you know how many strippers I had to kick out of the barracks?
Oh yeah.
Saturday and Sunday morning.
I can remember when the NCO Wives Club organized some of the enlisted men as strippers for an event for them.
Oh yeah.
And women are much worse in a stripper situation than men ever thought about being.
Yep. Yeah, Tom makes a good point.
Watch
Learned
you
to stay out of the NCO club after a couple of visits where word got back to the chain of command or the wife. Yeah.
Oh,
Jerry, the warrants drink somewhere.
Wherever
Nobody
they want
knows
to.
where.
Somewhere known only to warrant officers.
Since they've never been in a warrant officer seen actually any place.
Oh, we saw them in the Navy. We saw their cap anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In better news, plasma pulp. Oh, go ahead.
But I do have to, we're talking about strippers. I do have to say that I know of at least 2 Navy systems that were named for strippers. Julie and Jez, 2 systems that I flew in the Navy, were both named. One was named for a stripper named Julie, and the other one was named for a stripper named Jezebel.
Of course.
Yeah.
A shocked face. Let
Yeah.
me show you it.
Of course, if that happened today,
All right.
A, the system would never get into the fleet, and B, everybody would be arrested.
Anyway, so
Plasma Pup is live.
yeah,
Yes.
Plasma Pulp went live today, and walked in a most awkward moment as usual, right? Plasma Pulp is live, guys. I'm really proud of this one. I really am. This we had kick-ass stories for this one. I am very strong anthology, and I'd like you to get out there. So if y'all could talk it up, I'd appreciate it. Get some word out there, because I would like the future anthos from Bractor Press to start attracting the quality we got for this one. Wow, guys, it's a hell of a good. It was fun to put together, great to read, and I honestly, quite honestly, I got enough for 2 different flows. I could have done two different a neo pulp or a classic pulp. And I went with classic because that's kind of our wheelhouse. We're classic, but we had some just kick ass stories. Just wow.
Yep. And they do bring back memories.
Yeah.
I do want to say something else about the military. I grew up in the military in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. And we did not play games. Well, we played games, but not games per se with people. We worked together, we drank together, we fought together, fought each other more than once. But we didn't care if you were pink, purple, green, polka dotted, black, yellow, white. Didn't care. Male or female, we didn't care. As long as you were qualified to do the job and willing to do the job. We stood up for each other at work and out in town. And we covered each other's asses if it was needed. No questions asked. Nothing expected back. We were shipmates. And I mean that in the term where even today, if they call me and need help, I would go. If I called some of my shipmates from those days and needed help, they'd come. No, Kermit, smart ass.
Jean Lafitte on line 3. Jean Lafitte on line 3.
But the thing is, that ethos, as we have discussed here, went away.
Yeah. Well,
and everything got slotted into diversity / quotas / racial bins.
In the Army, that was going on in the 70s.
Yeah. We didn't do that in the Navy. And I'm hoping and praying that we see the military go back toward that ethos that we had in the 70s and 80s.
There was in the Army, in the 80s in the Army, an Army adjacent in the 90s, there was an understanding that to get the mission done required breaking of some eggs. The NCOs knew it, the officers knew it. As long as the mission got accomplished, some minor peccadillos were not only tolerated but expected. Apparently that's gone away, and that makes me worried.
Yeah.
Because to accomplish the mission that the warfighters do under the rules, a lot of times you have to break those rules.
Yeah.
You don't break the rules, you will not get the mission accomplished. As a, for instance, that disastrous freaking bailout of Afghanistan.
Abigail.
The kids broke every rule, bent, mutilated, spindled, and folded every rule and regulation known to man to get that stuff done. That's what they do. That's expected. When did it stop being expected?
when it became political.
Anywho, so not only is plastic because we're going up because I'm getting annoyed.
Yeah.
And the grease on my butt is getting warmed up. So
Okay, we did not need to know that.
you're getting all of it. You're getting all of it. So John Van Stry's novel. Yeah. John Van Stry's novel. Go buy and click on that for me, please. Buy it, pre-order it, whatever you have to do. Have you priced cheese sandwiches these days? I had to feed these guys cheese sandwiches. Have you seen the price of cheese?
Dawn. Really?
Yeah,
The
no
Kentucky
kidding.
jelly sure tastes funny.
No kidding. When they've got 3 tubes of it on the counter, it's a clue.
Yeah.
So buy, pre-order, buy whatever John Van Stry's book because these guys are bitching about their cheese sandwiches and that stuff's getting expensive.
Are you starting to actually use real cheese in the cheese sandwiches?
He lost his government cheese.
No kidding.
Better 3 tubes than none. True.
You heard about the guy that stole some government cheese, didn't you?
Yeah.
He was chasing a guy down the street, and he knew he wanted the cheese because it was nacho cheese. The man kept yelling at him, "It's nacho cheese, man!"
Boo this man. Boo this man.
Wayne, I think it actually is. Somebody was talking about the other day,
Government cheese
it
was
being available through food banks.
well, it wasn't it pretty much a way to help the Wisconsin dairy farmers?
Yeah.
It was good cheese.
It was excellent cheese. Government cheese is damn fine cheese.
I used to love going to the commissary and picking up several blocks to do things with.
It was almost like a Longhorn cheese rather than Colby or
Really
cheddar.
good.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken. I think it was a program to support dairy farmers
Yep.
in the upper Midwest. They would pay to they would get a solid check to make cheese for the government.
And who was the Wisconsin senator that used to rant about all the waste?
Proxmire.
Proxmire. Interestingly enough, he's the one that forced through that the government had to buy butter because that was another Wisconsin thing to help the farmers.
Well, I would not mind having some of, like you said, it was like a Longhorn. It was some of the best cheese.
Yeah.
I fondly remember government cheese.
And you could make some wonderful pizzas with it.
We actually
Damn good grilled cheese sandwiches. Yes, Justin Johnson. Government peanut butter. Yeah, that's another good one.
I do not have good memories of government peanut butter because I had to use it for a specific purpose and it left bad feelings.
Are you saying that it strongly resembled what the doctor was checking this morning?
For those of you not in on the joke,
It's not a joke.
it's not a joke. The brown bag MREs were lacking in hydration. The thing that all the troops, even me, enjoyed were the cookies, which was the block of dehydrated fruit salad or strawberries or peaches.
Yeah.
Those things were great, but they were dehydrated fruit. So if you'd spent a couple weeks in the field with 1 or 2 MREs a day, there was, as we say, a log jam in progress. So what you would do is you'd save a packet, and I don't know why, so don't ask me why. You save a packet of the MRE peanut butter.
Yeah.
And when you got back, you'd stop by the shopette and grab a Dr. Pepper. Then you would go to the latrine and you'd prepare for a long wait, and you'd shoot back the peanut butter and wash it out with the Dr. Pepper, and then you'd hang on. Because, oh my God.
They obviously changed the formula from the C's because with the peanut butter with the C's, which came in a little flat can, you opened it at the beginning of a field problem.
Yeah.
Then at the end of the field problem, when you were ready to go to the bathroom, you opened one of the cans of jelly. At which point, all the things that the peanut butter had been sticking stopped sticking.
Yeah. It's like sugar-free, exactly like sugar-free gummy bears.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still this way. Back my time in salad suit, if you took the peanut butter and you didn't eat it later, but if you took the peanut butter and you took the bug spray, the insect repellent, mixed them and set fire to it, it would burn for a long time.
Yep.
It was a hell of a fire starter. Peanut butter and insect repellent, the Army issue insect repellent.
Yep.
Mix it up, set fire to it, and run.
Of course, you could also the powdered creamer.
Oh God, yes.
Flip it in the air and light a light and watch everybody's
Boom.
eyebrows go away.
Yeah.
I mixed the MRE creamer with dust, just road dust that I got off a 5-ton windshield. Mixed it half and half, stuffed it in the handle of an acid brush. An acid brush is a little wire brush, was hollow, rolled metal handle. I stuffed it in there, and then about halfway through a 2-hour overhead projection briefing, I set it off and shot it under the S4's nose.
Actually, you could do
Hell of a
that.
rocket.
Yeah. I'm surprised it didn't blow up on you.
I was 1 hour into a 2-hour overhead projector briefing.
Had it blown his head off, he'd have been considered at a mercy.
Whee! I don't sit here anymore.
Because I remember playing with that stuff, and we got some pretty nice fireballs out of it.
Mhm.
And when you added in the dust, it got even bigger.
I actually blew up a barracks, World War II barracks on Fort Jackson up at Tank Hill. Well, I didn't. My little bug snipes did. But they took a 25-pound bag of flour on the second floor, cut an X in it, and put it on a daisy-chained length of deck cord. And downstairs, they put a road flare in a coffee can. Because I told them that we were having a class, and I field expedient explosives. So next thing I know, they've taken over the demolition of a barracks, and they've got this. And they said, "Sarge, come see this." It's like, I'm not awake yet. Walked in and was like, "What the fuck?" All right, let's. When they set off the deck cord, it blew the flour in the air.
Yeah.
And then it settled and went downstairs. And when it hit the road flare,
The roof went up.
the barracks disappeared.
Yeah.
To best that I was informed, I don't know how true this was, but I was informed they found shingles on the water tower at Tank Hill.
Yeah.
On top of the water tower.
Yeah. Ringo did use flour as a fuel air explosive in one of his Altadena books. Aldentata.
Model airman.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if you've ever seen a grain tower go up,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's it's the same thing.
That was part of the presentation I was given on field expedient explosives. Because I give interesting classes, guys. I do, because I've sat through so many boring classes that I try to give. One, I'm much like this. I'm bouncing around and making offhand comments. That's why you're not allowed to record my classes, because I don't want that shit coming back to haunt me later. But I was given examples, and dust explosions in grain elevators was one of the examples I was given.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect my little bug snipes to carry it out.
well,
They did it.
Yeah.
you were an E4. You should have known better.
Shit.
Yeah, Don, fire mitigation is a huge issue in grain silos.
Yeah.
Because flour is nothing more than minimally adulterated grain dust.
Any fine dust, it makes a hell of a.
That's why the blowers, just to keep that damn dust down.
Well, that's why we've got a series of grain elevators on South Side Iowa Park on 368.
Yeah.
No, 367. Yeah, complex grain elevators. And a tornado came through and removed some of them. but I heard tornado and saw where it was going. And Rita and I went for the bathtub, because one of the things you build up in tornadoes is static electricity.
Yep.
And I was just envisioning 6 bombs on the south side of Owl Park.
Yeah.
If the static electricity and the wind stirred up the dust and static electricity ignited it. Holy crap.
Yeah, Todd, it does have to be fine combustible dust.
Yeah. You know that steel is combustible, right?
Yeah.
Iron is combustible.
Yep.
If you don't believe me, take some iron filings. Bunsen burner iron filings, throw them through the flame of the Bunsen burner. The iron filings will ignite.
Yeah.
Or take some some rust.
Yeah.
And a little aluminum dust.
Thermite.
Yeah, you've got thermite. Yeah.
So things you don't think are flammable, when they're in a fine ground consistency, are very flammable.
Yep.
A lot of them. So anything, I in my personal
Steel wool, it makes a great fire starter.
Oh,
yes.
With a 9-volt battery, it's great.
Yeah.
My personal philosophy is, if there is fine aerosolized dust, I don't give a shit. Get away.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the whole pencil leads.
Yeah.
Very.
It's carbon.
Yeah. You take a 9-volt battery, a paper clip, a little bit of wire, and it's a cigarette lighter.
Yep. Yeah, that's what the inmates use in jail. Is they take they call it sparking. They'll take a pencil lead, jam it in the power outlet to light their improvised little cigarettes.
Yep.
Or to light. When they do tattoos, since we don't have, most jails don't issue Bic pens anymore. They'll take, what they do is they tattoo with an ink made from petroleum jelly and charcoal.
Yep.
They'll light petroleum jelly inside and make a chimney to cut off air so it burns real smoky. And they get the soot on the inside of the chimney, and they'll scrape the soot, mix it with more Vaseline, and use that for tattoo ink. Something y'all didn't need to know, but what the hell, I'm in a talkative mood.
Yeah.
Well,
and we learned a lot of this stuff in Scouts. Either that, or we were taught by, in my case, World War II veterans who might have been rather inventive while they were overseas.
Well, one of the things that
veterans inventive. No.
One of the things that I think of is when I was a kid, back in the ancient days, not as ancient as Jim's.
Barbarossa to the white cursive phone.
There were all these really hard old men around. They were all World War II vets.
Yep.
And if you wanted an answer to anything,
you didn't ask them.
No, you went to them. if it was work related, any kind of work.
Yeah.
They either knew it or they knew who to call, and they knew everything. And you knew not to mess with an old guy because they were going to hurt you.
Well,
yeah, and they had no problem hurting you, regardless of how old they were and how fit you were.
Bayreuth and later.
I said they were going to hurt you, not that they might hurt you.
Yeah, Bayreuth, or NL Bayreuth, as it became later. The guy that ran it had a policy that he hired vets.
Yeah,
because he said that most Americans had never been out of the States.
Yeah,
but veterans had. Veterans had been overseas, understood that cultures could be different, and were good at improvising.
John, please get to feeling better.
Apparently,
do what you need to do.
Yeah. So I got raised in Bayreuth/NL Bayreuth in Nigeria. All the engineers that weren't my dad, the Americans were from Vietnam, and the Brits were from Oman.
Yeah.
So I got raised by a bunch of war veterans.
Yeah.
I tell a story about mom and dad coming home from a cocktail party. We'd been babysat by Uncle Chuck, and he was in the front yard teaching us how, and we weren't very old, teaching us how the proper way to remove a sentry, because he thought that was information everybody needed.
Yeah.
Well, it's useful.
Yeah.
I thought so. Mom and dad kind of didn't.
Yeah.
Chuck, what are you doing? People need to know this.
Yeah.
You mean there are people that haven't
He's
needed?
9.
You mean there are people that haven't needed to know that?
Be surprised.
Insert and push out, not pull back.
Well, that was the SAS guy. So Uncle Chuck was down and forward. He said you had to put the knife in it where the collarbone makes a oval.
Yeah.
Knife goes in, you push forward, it ruptures the subclavian
artery.
nexus or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
push forward. It's like, and then the SAS guys said, no, this is how you do it. Push forward. It's like,
Stick it right in just
under the ear and push forward, carry everything out.
And then there's the guy that teaches you that it goes into the soft spot at the base of the head and goes up.
That's only if you have a Fairbairn.
No, we never heard that. We had, and there was a long discussion that went on for hours, alcohol fueled, I might add, regarding which way was better.
Yeah.
And everybody had their own favorites and refused to believe that one of the others might be better.
Oh yeah. Well, in all cases, the ideal was to keep the son of a bitch quiet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have also know of one guy who says that you go through the kidneys.
Yeah.
No, kidneys is not a good idea.
Kidneys because they'll scream.
Uncle Chuck was hand over mouth, down, push forward, right into the ground. The hell, Rolly, his name was Roland, not the headless Thompson gunner. We call him Uncle Rolly, and Uncle Rolly was rifle or shirt across the throat because you didn't want to put your hand if you're going. Anyway, that's not the but yeah. Garrots are. Why am I getting off on this subject?
Well, you always got off on violence.
Okay. A garrote is, if you're worried about bloodborne pathogens, go for a garrote. But the thing about a garrote is a single function tool.
Yeah.
And if you're running light, you don't have anything that's only got one purpose.
And the accent comes out.
Fuck.
A garrote is not single purpose.
It is single purpose.
No. If you make it properly, you can use it also to tie the bottom of your jacket shut closed.
No.
Okay.
See, I got in so much trouble at basic training because I had a garrote in my locker just for the hell of it. I had an extra bootlace, and I was bored one night, so I was Uncle Rolly taught me how to make a garrote, so I made a garrote out of it, and it went through 5 or 6 inspections.
Yeah.
Before a drill sergeant we'd never met before found it and lost his poo.
Why? They're perfectly useful.
I don't know. He was totally just had a come apart.
Yeah, ladies can use a garrote to tie up their hair. Learned that from David Weber. Yeah. It has more than one use.
Jim, we weren't going to tell him. Y'all are bastards. Y'all are bastards.
Wait for them to check their phone and cut off their internet.
No, that's just being cruel. That's a war crime. Just don't be cruel about it.
Oh man, is the accent out tonight?
Yeah, fuck.
Police aren't supposed to have access to deadly weapons in the barracks. Shit.
How could you not have access to deadly weapons in a barracks?
If you had stacked racks, you had a deadly weapon.
Yeah.
Bunk adapters.
Yeah.
Did I tell a story here about bunk adapter fever? Okay.
Yeah.
That one idiot E1 that caught a nasty case of bunk adapter fever from Drill Sergeant Stevenson. Woo! He got tuned up something fierce.
We had a turtle that we managed to hide through the entire boot camp by putting it in the ceiling. And he was pretty good size. He was probably yay big box turtle.
That's better. I suppose a turtle's better than a possum or a coon, but
yeah.
Well, strippers are better.
Or a snake. Were you there when the 8.5? One of our jail tanks that was close to an outside door, snake got in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were.
That was an 8.5.
Yeah, they had a pet snake for like 4 weeks before they found it.
Yeah.
It's like, you realize that thing has got a buzzer on the tail, right?
Yeah. Cedar says the military's changed. My son's contraband as a boot was D&D dice made from pencils. That's sad.
If I
They
remember
were
right,
more worried about us making booze in boot camp
Yeah.
than they were anything else.
well, the thing of it is, as long as you weren't gambling, you had space. Did you have space in your wall locker for a small area for other stuff?
Yeah.
Yes.
We had a space in our wall locker that was for non-issued items, and I had books there. But several of the other guys, D&D in the '80s in the Army was the in thing.
Can't say because I was in the 7th. But what we had problems with, I had a pair of swords that I bought. And I had them displayed on my wall above my bunk.
Uh-huh.
Crossed swords.
Yeah.
Do you know that it was 2 years before they realized that there were actually swords in there? And
I
can believe it.
we had
Mike says they're more worried about gambling, not D&D.
Yeah, as long as they didn't catch you gambling, and it was like, don't get caught.
Yeah.
But we had one when I was at Hood, whatever the hell it's called now. We had a guy get back from a debt to Japan. And what do you buy when you go on a debt to Japan?
samurai sword.
You buy the samurai
Yeah.
swords, right? So he had this lovely little sword collection on his desk in his room. And Sergeant Major lost his poo. He did. He had a complete come apart about this. And it's, he's ranting and raging. And I'm looking out the door. And in the hall of the barracks, I've got 4 troopers piggyback with mop handles having a joust.
Yeah.
And he's worried about Timu class katanas?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And Tom says nothing in boot camp, but a Marine down the hill got caught with a rifle and a 45 in his room Saturday night at Monterey.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, didn't y'all have buffer races?
Yeah, we did.
We had bumper cars. It was
Yeah.
Folks, if you sit on a buffer and you rock back and forth, you can actually steer the damn thing.
Yeah.
For certain values of steering. And I caught a couple of them having bumper cars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And races?
We had in Memphis in the early 70s when we were going through A school. We lived in the old World War II barracks, and they had linoleum floors.
Mm-hmm.
Reddish, no linoleum.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you had to wax it and buff it
Yep.
every Friday.
Yeah.
And
God
the edges
forbid
were
that
peeling
you
up.
Step
Yeah.
on the painting up there at the front of the barracks.
Yeah.
Once the fire guard had got done buffing on a Friday night, you don't stand on the.
But we had those, almost 3-foot diameter buffers with 150-foot cords because they would go all the way down the hall.
Mm-hmm.
And guys would get on those things and race on Friday. And we got in more shit because one guy lost control and he'd actually gotten it up to a pretty good speed. And he hit the wall.
Oh.
And the handle went through the wall and ripped about 15 feet.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of put an end to that shit.
Well, did you ever have to get up in the morning? And if you were at the far end of the barracks, you had the longest. You have to get up. You stand on your bunk, and then you reach out to the next bunk.
Yep.
Move your foot over.
Yep.
Yeah.
And go down the hall walking bunks because you're not allowed to touch the floor.
Not touch the floor. The fire guard just got done waxing.
Yep.
And you know what? Sometimes you'd have somebody get clumsy.
Yeah.
We had somebody got himself his attitude readjusted because he refused to do that, and he was walking along the walls and said that we could just go along behind him. and run the buffer on the walls, it'd be just fine. It wasn't.
Yeah, Johnson paste wax. Yeah, auto wax.
Big cans of it. Great, huge Army issue cans of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Doug, I was in Millington in 70 and 73.
Of course, I remember the time the guy fell off the end of the bunk when he was trying to travel that way,
Yeah.
smacked face first into the floor and bled on it.
Oh shit.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
Drill sergeants had a little bit of things to say about that.
Don't do it again.
Oh no.
Oh shit, AJ. Ordered to strip, wax, and buff the passageway outside Damage Control Central while underway.
I didn't realize that you ran a buffer on a ship.
Yeah,
realize
you
you-
can.
Why?
If you're underway, that can get interesting.
Buffers are hard enough to control if the ground isn't shifting.
Yep.
You know how you can tell that a sailor is stoned if he's walking down the hallway in a ship?
He's walking steadily.
Yeah, if he walks straight, he's stoned out of his gourd because otherwise he's swaying with the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rick, you guys do have problems making noises.
Whang, whang, whang.
Well, they actually had a procedure where they would run a certain mode, and everybody had to go to their rack.
That doesn't
And
surprise me.
nobody was allowed to take a dump.
I'm in a mood, so I can imagine a Soviet sonar man hearing fap, 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 and trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Oh, I am not right. I'm not right in the head. I blame the trauma.
I'm seeing down periscope in the scene where the guy's going around going, ooh, 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 ooh.
Allegedly, I am told that down periscope is a damn fine representation of what it's actually like.
Yes, it is. Tom says, thought I had it made when I got to a barracks head carpet until a roommate dropped a lid of melted kiwi polish.
Oh, no. We never had, I don't know that we ever had a.
I don't remember ever having one with carpet
Carpet.
either. RK, that is fantastic news. Hokkaido is walking now and balance improving.
well
with no
done.
pain.
Oh, well done.
Now, I remember we had German barracks that had flagstones. And
Yeah.
those were great. Of course, you had to keep those polished, and the fact that they'd been in use since the Nazis had used them, and
Yeah.
they had some places where there was little wear patterns.
Yeah. Yeah, E7s also had a field day on a boat, on a submarine.
And yet again,
Yeah.
not Navy.
Well, Sir Brass, I actually had to fly on a couple of missions like that in the 70s out of Hawaii because we had a 588 that developed a tonal that was basically a mating call for a humpback. And a humpback fell in love with the submarine. And I have pictures, and Ian has seen them, of the whale trying to mate with the submarine.
Apparently, Barry White was playing at full blast.
Yes. And we had to get some fairly heavy PhDs involved that came out and flew with us. And submarine came out, and the whale came and tried to play. And
The sailors were all a little squeamish.
yes, they were ducking apparently. And the PhDs went off with our recordings.
I thought it was the whale that was ducking.
No.
Mhm.
And
Or
the
trying to anyhow.
yeah,
What's your sign, baby?
the submarine went into the yards in Pearl Harbor, and some things got fixed. And the submarine came back out of the yards and went out to sea, and we got tasked to go fly on it again, and no whale.
The sobs of that poor whale
Yeah.
echo throughout the seas to this day.
Yeah, well, it's humpbacks are not exactly small whales.
It's a whale.
Yeah.
Nothing about a whale. Not going there.
Well, a blue whale's 45 feet long. That's as long as a Greyhound bus.
Hmm.
And their eyeball is about that big. Because I had one come up within 6 feet of me with its calf, roll up and look at me. And that whale was not dumb.
Since you were on subs,
He chased subs.
I chased subs, never officially on them. I rode them. Yes.
since you were on subs, there's a scene in Down Periscope where the cook cuts a nasty one. Is it that bad?
Yes.
I was wondering. I know it's that bad in an APC that's all closed up.
Oh, I beat my gunner's ass one time because he had a lunch. He went to PX, and in his billy, he had a lunch of garlic stuffed olives and summer sausage.
Oh, Jesus. Well, there are certain things that are not served on submarines, period, for a very good reason.
I assume beans and cabbage are two of them.
Actually, they serve Navy bean soup. I cannot remember when I was on a 588, a 637, and 2, 3 of the later classes. And I don't ever remember seeing sardines, and I don't ever remember seeing cabbage.
We started at RTEP, and his very first day, he had cheese and garlic stuffed olives and summer sausage, and he ate
Oh, Jesus.
more than he should have. And the next day was the button up, and no, he got his ass whooped. I beat his ass.
Damn, Rick, y'all actually had sardines on the Omaha? That's no kimchi. No, just no.
Okay, guys.
We've wasted another hour of your time, folks.
Buy plasma pulp. Tell your friends about plasma pulp. Buy John Van Stry's book and tell your friends about it, please. I've got to feed people. I have a mortgage to pay.
Yeah. Thanks, folks. And yay, we got it working.
We did.
It turned out to be the computer. My other computer was too old.
That or Frank has finally kicked it.
Yeah.
Frank's replacement doesn't know us yet.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
So,
Poor guy still has a his original liver. We'll
Yeah.
fix it.
we do appreciate it. And thank you very much for hanging with us. We'll see you later. Remember, don't sweat petty stuff. Don't pet sweaty stuff. Have a good weekend.
Be safe,
Bye-bye.
guys.